This past year, I purchased a lot of awesome systems that I didn't own, or it was a system that wasn't as popular, or it was expensive, or my parents just didn't want to buy it because they were unsure of the future of that system. And it's a really cool thing when you buy a system that you've never tried before, or something you've been dying to play but you never found it anywhere. And for me, as a gamer, I really love to experiment with new machines and new companies and such. You guys always know that I've always been a huge Sega and a Nintendo fan, but there are other companies out there that tried to get into the market and didn't do so well. And when I was younger, I was always very into handheld gaming. Handheld gaming was always my favorite thing to do, and especially in a room like this that I used to grow up in, where I was able to play these games. I would save all my time so I would get home, go to my bedroom, and play a bunch of awesome Game Boy games or Sega Game Gear games. Of course, with Sega Game Gear, I always had it attached to an outlet because that thing sucked batteries like insane. And on today's episode, I'm going to show you something that I teased on my last video, something big, or should I say small, that I bought that I really want to show you guys. So let's get on with today's episode. Spinning bird kick! Kikoken! So going back to handheld gaming, during the 90s, there was a really huge market for handheld gaming. Sega got into it, Nintendo owned that gaming market, but there were other systems that tried to get into it as well. Some were not so, succeeding. Some I don't remember, and some I do remember, but never purchased, and it kind of drifted away into the darkness. And one of those systems was the Neo Geo Pocket Color. Now this is the 6th generation system of Neo Geo Pocket consoles, and this is one system that came out in 1999 and lasted only 2 years due to bankruptcy. This was released by SNK, and for those who don't know what SNK is, they are the creators of the King of Fighters franchise, a very, very popular and amazing fighting game franchise. They decided to try and enter the gaming market, handheld gaming market that Nintendo currently owned, and they were fighting in a market that was very hard to do because Nintendo owns so much of it. But they released the Neo Geo Pocket Color here in North America. Like I said, it is the 6th gen system in the series, and this was to compete against Nintendo's Game Boy Color at the time. The trouble with the system is that it was not supported by very many companies, and it only lasted an 82 video game library. The cool thing is that it is a version-free system, which means you can play games from all around the world, and it's one of those systems that is really, really cool, and I'm going to show you why it's cool. This, of course, is a North American model. I purchased this at my local game cycle here in London, Ontario. It was really cool because the guy was very understanding. I had never seen a Neo Geo Pocket Color system before, or at least I do not remember it as much. I remember seeing commercials when I used to watch YTV and such after school, but I have never seen one in my hands. And the guy who worked there, he got me the system, got a couple of batteries for me to try, and I've been, so happy to try it because it's one of those systems, like I said, I knew nothing about, and I really wanted to test it out. And after testing it out, I went back the other day, made sure that it was still there. I called the store, put it on hold for myself, and I picked it up because I did not want to pay what this is going on eBay right now. Purchased this for $119. Of course, that's Canadian. And this system is pretty pricey on eBay. I was checking prices the other day, and depending on what model of system you're buying, you're looking between $120 to $350. Of course, like I said, this is a North American model. Most of the eBay models that are on listed are actually Japanese models. So I wanted to make sure I had a North American one, just because for me it's in English, and it's easier for me to understand what's going on. And as a collector, since I am on this part of the world, I want to make sure I have the technology from this part of the world, just because most of my collection is. I do have a lot of imported games and such, but system-wise, I want to make sure that I own as much as I can, just to keep it in continuity. The only difference system that I have that is actually a Japanese system is my my PS Vita, which is the White Gundam model, which I'm very happy and proud that I have. But yes, going back to this awesome little system, it does play so much better than the Game Boy Color at the time, which is a shame because it didn't last as long. And I'm going to show you why it didn't last as long. So, at my game cycle, whoever owned this system kept it in actually pretty mint condition and came with 5 different games. I didn't like the other 3 games, so I left them and I just got the 2 that I thought were the top notch for the system. And it was 2 games I actually played and really loved. First up, it is a big, huge title from one of my favorite characters of video game history, and that is Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure. Now this is, you guessed it, a Sonic game. Very amazing game. It is highly rated as one of the best games for the system, and I was lucky that this was there. I got it for $20 for this little guy. I was very happy I got that. So I picked up Sonic, and I'll show you some gaming footage from it later on. Next up, I picked up another huge video game franchise character, and it's a classic one. It is Pac-Man. Now, Pac-Man is one of my favorite video game characters. I used to play it on the Atari 2600 when I was very, very young. That was my first experience with Pac-Man, and I love Pac-Man. It's just classic fun, easy to play, and when you're waiting on a bus, you have that to play. So it's really awesome. Or car trips or whatever, or playing. Wherever this takes you, you'll have fun playing. And yes, I am, of course, wearing my new Street Fighter t-shirt. I purchased this guy on Amazon. That's yay. Very happy I did. And if you guys are ever looking for, Street Fighter merchandise, make sure you do check Amazon. They have a huge selection. It's actually very cheap. And these are officially licensed Capcom t-shirts. As you can see, it is my favorite girl of all time. My very first and favorite video game character ever, Chun-Li. You have her in her 16-bit form, and you have her currently how she looks. And of course on the bottom of the shirt it says to grow up. So yeah, if you guys are looking for Street Fighter 2 merchandise, or just Street Fighter merchandise in general, Amazon is your hotspot. So the makeup of the system is very, very easy. You have a very cool analog stick that is your directional pad. You have A and B button, an options button, and of course the power button. Now the condition, like I said, of the system is very good. Sure, there are a little light scratches on the screen, which is normal due to the previous owner or whatever. On the bottom you have your volume, you have a jack for the plug, and you also have your headphones. Now in the back you do have 2 different sets of batteries. And I'll show you why you have 2 sets of batteries. You have the current slot over here, which is 2 AA batteries. It takes 2 AA batteries to power your system. You have up to 40 hours of battery time, which is really huge compared to the previous systems. I believe it matches the Game Boy Color. And in here you have a CR2032 battery, which uses 2, and I'll show you. So you hold down the power button. Now this screen is not backlit. It is, of course, the same as the Game Boy Color was at the time. But it's still pretty cool. So, I'm going to try and get a video shot of this. So on the main menu, you have a calendar, you have world time, it does your horoscope, and you have your settings. Which basically the settings are setting your time, your language between English and Japanese, and yeah, that's pretty much it on that one. I have not tried the alarm yet, nor do I need it. But yeah, you have a full calendar, world time that shows you everything else. The reason for the CR2032 battery is to control the time. Without that, you'll always have to be inserting the time and date to your system, which I didn't want to have that. Of course, like the Game Boy Color, the video games do go on the back slot over here. And I'll give you a close-up of what the games do look like. I'll show you my Sonic the Hedgehog Pocket Adventure. So the games, like I said, are exactly like the Game Boy Advance games. Very, very, identical, just a little bit longer. But yeah, the games go on the top. I'll show you Pac-Man as well, close up. And you got Pac-Man, which, like I said, one of my favorite games of all time. So I really went ahead and put my Sonic the Hedgehog game in the back there to start playing. I'm just going to give you guys a basic show of what the graphics look like. Turn on the power. Now for the power button, you do have to hold it down. And to hold it down to turn it off. So you got your classic Sega startup. Now, of course, like I said, this is not backlit, so you do need to play it with lightning. Just click it on here. And continue. I'll just give you an idea of what the graphics look like. So the graphics are a lot better than the... I'm going to turn the camera a little bit. There we go. The graphics are a lot better, and I'm sorry I can't do it with two hands because I don't have a stand to show. But as you can see, the detail of the world is a lot more vibrant than the Game Boy Color was at the time. Really looks a lot like the Sega, not Sega, I'm sorry, like the Game Boy Color at the time. It's definitely a lot more vibrant, more colorful than their games, and you can tell that they really try to put a lot of detail in what they do. So you're asking why I decided to get this system, since I own so many handheld gaming systems. I'm one to collect museum pieces. You guys know that I have my own museum room, and I love these things. I love to keep history, and it's one of those things where, you're gonna look back and you're gonna wonder why, we're not keeping these things alive nowadays. I'm, one that is very in love and in touch with classic stuff. Like I said, I grew up early 80s, 90s, and I was always one into collecting stuff, and video games were always my passion. Sure, it didn't last as long as Nintendo did. Sure, there are only 82 games out there, some of which, I really want to get. Some are very expensive, but that is the route that you go being a collector. And I'm going to show you a couple games that I really want to purchase. I just want to thank you guys for watching my video. I hope you guys get an idea. Maybe this gives you, a kind of a taste of wanting to buy one for yourself to try it out. Leave something down in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the video. What, made you buy this yourself. If you have any questions that I can answer for you, leave it down below. And thanks for watching this video. And if you like more of these videos, please do subscribe to my channel. I love doing these things for you guys. I have a lot of fun doing it. So if you guys love it, please do hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit that little bell so you can get updates and notifications from when my videos go live.